I am very excited to be making this video because the Outlier database is hitting its stride and becoming a very useful tool to study jiu-jitsu. And I'm hoping this video will kind of just help you navigate the site a bit better so you'll be able to find your study time much more efficient. So basically, we're going to go through the 3 things that you can study in jiu-jitsu, in my opinion, and how to do each of those 3 on the database. So the first way to study jiu-jitsu would be studying a match. The second way would be studying a training resource like an instructional or a YouTube video. And the third way would be studying a position. So if you're interested in studying a match, you're going to hop over to the search here. In my opinion, is the best way to go about it. And you're going to search for the athlete or match you want to study, right? Click footage, and hopefully your match is in here. And we're going to be studying this Roberto Jimenez-Gordon Ryan match for the sake of this video. So if we hop in here, you can see there's a YouTube video associated with it, so we can see and watch the match here. And we see some generic information about the match, and we also see notes that are written in freehand. So they're basically like whatever language the person entering the match wanted to use, they can use that here. And you can click on given timestamps, and it will take you to that sequence. So let's say we're interested in seeing this, half guard, low knee shield, and basically Gordon clears it and settles into chest, half guard. We can click that here and see that sequence happen, right? You can also go down and see different resources that are associated with the match to dive deeper into resources. We'll kind of get to that a bit later. And then you can also go through the sequences. So the sequences is different than the freehand notes. They're predetermined terms that you have to choose from, but it allows them to be much more searchable and organized. And yeah, I just find this to be very, very helpful. So if we're interested, if we go back to the match, we can see that half guard sequence that we're looking at occurs around, or that's not the half guard sequence we're looking at. We want to see this one where it's about 27 minutes and change into it. We can go here to sequences, and you could see that corresponds to this sequence here. It goes from half guard to half guard, and basically you're going from a knee shield half guard to a chest half guard. So if we expand this, you can see that we went from a low knee shield half guard. Roberto gets up on an elbow prop. Gordon takes a near side underhook and sprawls to clear that knee shield, and we end up in a chest to chest half guard, right? And again, you can click here and watch that sequence happen. Here's another freehand note section where you can just make a note to associate with this sequence. And then here are resources that you can study to help you develop this skill. So you can see there are some that are free and some that are not. We're going to look at the free one, which happens to be my YouTube video. And you can see when your opponent has beaten your knees, you can no longer use your legs as frames. You can build height up to an elbow prop in hopes of recovering your guard. This does expose you to an underhook, body lock, or a Dagestani handcuff, right? So it's basically what Gordon did to Roberto. And again, you can click here, watch me talk about it if you want to. And then here are all of the sequences that illustrate this note. So from basically what this is saying is from this YouTube video at this timestamp, this is basically what they're talking about. And here are a bunch of examples of that happening in competition. So I think this is really, really cool and a good way to, study a given match. You can dive deep into the given match, and you can go from sequence to sequence and just kind of play through the whole match. And then you can see the different training resources that are associated with those sequences. So I think this is a really cool way to go through a match and study a given match. But if you're interested in studying a training resource, this is only one note that happened at 7 minutes and 10 seconds into this resource. So if you want to see all of the notes associated with this resource, you can either click here or you can click view all. And now it takes you to this page for the resource where you can play that resource, or you can click on a given timestamp and it will take you to the section of that resource where they're talking about it. So if you're interested in trapping the arm from the back and locking a bottom side body triangle to make it difficult for them to free your arm. You click that, it plays, and then you can click view over here if you want to be taken to this page again, where now you can see we have the note here. We have all of the sequences that we have in the database associated with this training resource. So you can see different examples of people trapping the arm and then locking a bottom side body triangle to secure it. And then this one right here, you can see that he trapped the arm, but they ended up with a posterior mount. So if we were to view this one, I think this one would be like an escape. So you can see it's a position entry, but the next sequence, you can click these arrows to toggle between sequences. The next sequence is a position escape. So he did have his arm trapped, but then Cameron freed his arm because it was a posterior mount and not a bottom side body triangle. So we can't watch it here, but I think you can imagine that's the case, right? So yeah, I just think that's super cool. And again, you can go back here. You can see this is the resource. We click view all, and we're back studying the resource. So this, in my opinion, is very, very cool. Yeah, I think I said that already. So at this point, we've talked about how to study a match. We've talked about how to study a training resource. And now we're going to talk about how to study a position. And I think the best way to do that is through this grouped sequence section. So if we click this, you can see we get taken here, and we're interested maybe in studying a specific player. So we want Gordon. Actually, wait, let's not do that yet. Let's say we want to see a position, right, where we're ending in half guard, right? Half guard. We want that variation to be chest to chest. And you can see there's a lot of half guard to half guard. And maybe we want to say, okay, maybe we just want Gordon, right? Or maybe we don't even do Gordon here. Maybe we just say, yeah, show me all 29 of these ways that the person went from some sort of half guard to some sort of half guard, right? And we want to see the variations where they were chest to chest, and we want Gordon, right? We want to see just Gordon Ryan stuff. So now you can see we have 4 ways that Gordon Ryan was able to get to chest half guard entered in the database, right? As we enter more matches, this number will grow, but this is just examples and quick ways to find like examples of Gordon Ryan getting to chest half guard. And the one that we were looking at is the one where Roberto Jimenez got up on an elbow prop, Gordon took a near side underhook, right? So we click here, takes us to this page, and now we're studying either the instructionals, the sequence, anything associated with this. So, and another thing I know people are interested in, because they've asked me to do this, is to have a way to filter by games. So like you can click here by resource type, and you can see the different types of resources that we have. And game is one of them. So if you click game, unfortunately, we don't have any games. Okay. So as we get more in the database, we'll hopefully have games, but I imagine it's just because we've already filtered it down quite a bit. So please be a game here. Cool, there's a game. So we click here, it takes you to the sequence, and you can see the training resource down here. We have this game, the high tripod body lock passing games, and we can view that. And this is basically the game that we can play to help develop that skill. I just think this is a very, very good way to study positions, right? Whatever position you're interested in, you see different entries into that position, you see different escapes, you see different types of submissions, and you just get examples upon examples of ways to just like study positions. I think this is the best way to study positions. I think the search, just finding the match that you want, clicking footage, hopping in. This is probably the best way to study a match, either by going through the freehand notes or by going through the sequences. And then if you want to study resources, I think the best way to do that is to hop, like say you're interested in power bottom, you would click view all, and you could see all the notes taken from power bottom. Unfortunately, we can't watch it, because it's a paid instructional. But if it's a YouTube video, you can watch it. If it's a paid instructional, it will just tell you the volume, the timestamp. And if you want to see more examples of putting the ge in sumigeshi, you click here and it will show you different examples of this happening in competition. And again, you can hop in there and the loop continues, right? So yeah, I really, really am happy with the way it's turning out. This is kind of the base functionality. And yeah, I think we're going to start adding some pretty cool stuff when we get into the machine learning AI stuff. And we're about ready to do that. So yeah, I think as is, it's like I said, it's all I use now to study jiu-jitsu. But as we start to implement these cool things on top of it, I imagine the tool is going to be beyond my expectations. But we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. But I'm really excited the way it's developing. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the Discord if you have any questions.